Okay, this is a little more fun. Now you're playing white. Your job is to try to win this position.
Rook F1 check.
Go ahead. Why don't you make the move?
Okay, thank you.
So Rook F1, good. So let's say first I'll try this one.
That one. And King E8.
King E8, good. And the black can resign, or they can try Rook H2.
I just promote.
Yeah, there's no threat.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, and also just like give check, make your life easy, but yeah, promoting is absolutely fine. Good. So this is kind of one idea to keep in mind. Obviously, white's plan is you're trying to get your king out from under the pawn so you can promote. And if black's king steps on the e file, then you can use the king to block the rook from being able to give you any checks. So much better defense for black is to unfortunately move away with the king, but that's what they have to do.
Okay, now is the moment, right? I know this, I think. Just need to remember which square. I think it's Rook F4. Yes. Yes, Rook F4. And if Rook C3 or C1.
Say black waits, sure.
I move the king to the E7.
Good. Play black.
I just move again the king. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, now you're good. So check.
And now king D5.
D5, and yeah, this is exactly why we need the rook here to be able to block. And it's over, right? No way to stop the pawn anymore. Okay, good. So yeah, this is kind of the key idea to remember in this position. When you're trying to promote the pawn, you're first scooting the king over with the check, and then rook comes up to the 4th rank. For black, it would be the 5th rank. But basically, any closer, like rook f5, then king g6, and you're not in time to get your bridge, right? Rook e5, king f7, and again, white's king is boxed in. So this is why rook f4 is important.
I didn't know it was the king. I was not sure about that.
Yeah. And it's basically, yeah, just about creating a path for your own king to get out, right? So this one is often tricky, especially I've seen many people mess this up in time trouble because, okay, they remember this key position, but then black does something like slightly different. All of a sudden they panic and they can't figure it out. So for example, let's say black tries this one.
Oh. Wow. Maybe bring closer the rook. Rook, no. Rook F5.
Rook f5. Yeah, absolutely. So here it's just important to understand it's like you're just trying to build the bridge, right? Or you're just trying to block black's rook. So now rook f5, you're ready to come here and challenge, and then that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
So sometimes people try like rook e4 because they want to get king e7 and promote. But then black goes king f8, and not so easy. Now white has to
To try it again.
figure it out all over again. Although I think here you can still win with this one and this one. Okay. So let's go back. Let's say when we gave the check, black played here. So does this change anything?
Yeah, because the king can attack the rook. Or if I play rook f4, the same idea, a king g5.
Mm-hmm. So this one does win. Rook f4, king g5. But yeah, not in the same way as the other line, but here you have to figure out how to win from here.
Okay. Rook f7.
Okay. Let's say we try here.
Rook e7.
Mm-hmm. Go here.
Oh. I think I play bad. No?
Yeah, it's still winning. Maybe you made it a little hard on yourself, but still winning. One thing to always remember is like you can always reset. So you can like bring the rook back, try to give check again, come up. But of course, you want to try to keep in mind like a couple of winning ideas here. The main thing is we're trying to get the king out from under the pawn. But of course, if you do it now, you have to deal with a lot of checks. And the rook is kind of not super well placed here.
Yeah. So I try to go back. Rook. Rook e4. Oh, no. Okay, yes. Rook e4.
Mm-hmm.
King.
So yeah, problem is king will go back.
And now check.
Check. Good. Say king over here.
King e7.
Yeah. Now you can just walk out again, right? Because your rook is in position. Okay, let's play just a few more moves. Let's say check.
King d6. King e6.
All right, I'll wait.
Oh. Oh, okay. Rook g4 check.
Yeah.
Rook e4.
Okay, good. And now you're just coming up and promoting. So, okay, very good. You got there. You got there. It took a little, right? But like the nice thing is you're always winning. As long as you're not letting the black king get back here and set up some defense, it's like you're still in control, so you can always kind of reset and win it again. But let's go back. I just want to show you maybe just one idea here.
I really don't. I think I don't understand very well what just happened. How we go in.
Like how you won.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah. That's why I think it's good to go through a lot of these lines and ideas. So basically what's going on here is like you've won the game. This is black's last hope. It's like just keeping your king from getting out. Right? But if black's king is like over here, then the rook can't cover everything. So your king is always going to be able to escape. And then the pawn promotes. So in our practice game here, basically what happened is, okay, you maneuvered around a bit, but eventually, you forced the king just way too far, and now black is just defending with the one rook, and that's it. The rook can't hold it on its own. There are a couple of easier ways to win. So the easiest, let's say, from here, you played here. Yeah, check, rook d1. Actually, even back here in this position. So it's king g6, you played here. I play king g5. This was where we started. Just rook f8. And the idea is you're controlling the promotion square with your rook. And that means your king can now leave, because you're always threatening to promote. So let me show you what I mean. So for example, let's say in this position, let's say you just started walking away. This doesn't win because your king can actually get out of the checks. But eventually, black goes rook d2 and you lose your pawn. Right? So you can get out of the checks, but you can't hold on to the pawn. But if white's rook is already on f8 in this position, then you're promoting. So it's over if the rook is already here or anywhere on the 8th rank. Right? Then black can give you a million checks, but you just run away from the rook. Eventually the rook has to come back and white's promoting. So let's go back to that position. So like rook f4, king g5. Let's say you played rook f8 here. Now it's over because your king is running away and then the pawn is just going through. So what can black even try? Let's say a king move. And now we don't even need the bridge anymore. We just need to run away with the king.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, I makes sense.
So this is why, like, when black is defending this position, they usually don't go this way. They usually try this move. At least this is what all the books show, because then it doesn't let white win easily with like rook f8 and getting the king out. And then this is where you gotta build the bridge.
Okay. Good to know that.
Yeah. But it's a little tricky, especially if you haven't like practiced it yet and then you're not sure. But basically what I want you to remember is like you're always just trying to get the king out. And if the king can come out safely and the pawn is promoting, then you win.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, let me show you one more idea here. Hopefully not to confuse you too much, but hopefully make things simpler. It's actually kind of I don't know what to call it. It's a bit of a shame. Like all the books, they teach like this bridge technique, and yeah, it's kind of complicated. in this position, and like as long as the pawn is in the middle, somewhere here, white actually has like a much easier way to win. That for some reason people often don't teach. You can just go rook a1, and then go here and here.
What?
Yeah, it's actually just like the most simplest, like straightforward way ever. Like you challenge the rook on the c file, the rook will have to move, and then you move your king. Your rook is controlling the promotion square, and it's game over. Or let's say even this move was simpler. So black can't even try some tricky rook h2, rook h8 check. Let's say you go rook b1, and then you're just coming here and here. We can look at it for a second, but there's not really much that black can do.
You are right. I don't understand why I never see that before.
So I'll tell you why. The reason is it only works for these 4 pawns. So if you have a knight pawn, your king is here. Let me try to shift everything over real quick. Shoot. Oh, there we go. So if we give ourselves a knight pawn, this is where you need Lucena.
Okay.
Because there's no room to go rook a8. Right?
Okay.
So it's b pawn or g pawn. So that's why all the books teach this one, because it works okay for every pawn. Rook pawns, these are going to be drawn if black's king is close enough. Also very important endgame, but we'll leave that to the side for now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know actually exactly how I feel, but like you do need to know this bridge technique, right? You need to be able to understand like the differences here. So if the king starts coming up this way, then you just go to the back rank and that's it. Your king is walking out. Actually, wait, this one's still tricky. Yeah, because you don't have room anymore. So this one doesn't work.
Because I cannot go to... I lose my pawn.
There's no room, right? So
Yeah.
here, you would need to resort to this other idea you found. Right, so you have a number of operations at your disposal here. One is to control the promotion square. One is to create a shield for your king this way. And so here you're taking advantage of black's king, right? If black could go king d7 here, then we're back to where we started. But black's king isn't able to cover these squares in time. So black can try king d5, but it's too slow.
Okay.
So that's kind of maybe a simpler way to understand this position. If the king is like trying to chase down your rook, well, then you take over the c file and you promote your pawn this way. If the king is staying here, then this won't work because you're just going to be boxed in again. But of course, if the king is back here, well, then you're able to walk out with your king and get the bridge. Yeah. Or you also, again, have this idea.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks simple when you explain it. It makes sense, but I think when you have the position, like, I think I just need to practice many times the end game because, like, it's a little bit scary to not remember.
Exactly. You do need to practice, and that's a big part of like in our program, the dojo program. We have like a bunch of these end games for every level, but our requirement is that you have to win it like 3 times in a row in a fast time control, like 3-0 or something like that. So without time on your clock, basically, to think it through, because you really do have to know these like really, really well. Especially because in a tournament, when you reach this position, you're always going to be just way down on the clock, right? Because it's going to be late in the game, end game. You might have like the 30-second increments, but that's not going to be enough time to figure out an end game if you're not super familiar with it. So yeah, this is why like Lucena is important, because if you have a knight pawn, then this is going to be the only way to win. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with people, because if you have any other pawn, then your life is really a lot easier just by just going and challenging this the file next to your king. Just challenge the rook, and that's it. Actually, it's easy win.
Yeah. Okay. I
All right,
see.
let's practice this.
Okay. Oh my god.
Just to lock it in. Let me get a new position here.
It says someone in the chat, Rook endgames are just always a draw. That's not true, right?
Yeah, that's one of those phrases people say for fun. But it doesn't, yeah, it's not real.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry, it's just,
It's okay.
I think my classroom is bugging out.
No worries. I think like I just remembered one of the end games always like I have is when both sides has like 3 pawns or 2, and one has an extra pawn and either the G or H file, and then rooks. Yeah.
It's like 3
think-
versus 2.
Yeah, exactly. 3 versus 2, and and I don't know, but there are many games that I get those end games. Yeah.
Yeah, those are very important to like practice at least once or twice. And in general, they're not that hard to hold. It's just when it comes down to that one pawn, it's like you got to make sure your king is in front of it and your rook is ready to take the third rank. Okay, so you play black.
Okay.
Should be your move.
Okay. Yeah. I check. Yeah, now I try this.
Good.
Okay.
And that's it, right?
Yeah. Because I can hide behind the other king, right? Yeah.
Yeah, your king just runs out. Awesome. Okay, great. You nailed it. That was perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
So I would definitely suggest practicing this again, like maybe in like a week. It's not super fresh. But
Yeah.
then if you do it and you're able to like do it, then you'll remember it for much longer.
Okay. Thank you. What book do you recommend, like to study end games, maybe, or if you have like a study or something like that. Maybe the chat is interested of that.
Yeah. So the first Endgame book we recommend is actually Silman's Endgame book. Silman, I don't know if you heard, he passed away yesterday, which was very sad. He's a
No.
big hero in U.S. chess. But yeah, his Endgame book is great. I would say it has a lot of endgames that are beneath your level that you're already familiar with. But for many players, it goes from like literally 0 to about 2200, and he breaks it down in terms of the endgames that you need to learn at each level, like 1000, 1200, 1400, and so on. So that's definitely a great book to start with.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. What is the name of the book again?
It's called Silman's Complete Endgame Course.
Okay.
So that's a good one. Another book that's good for your level is 100 Endgames You Must Know.
I think I heard about that one, but I never read it. I just learned this with when I was a kid, like in a class. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one because that one has, let's say, more. That one doesn't cover a lot of like. I'm pretty sure it doesn't cover a lot of basic endgames that you would know already, like king and queen versus king, king and rook. Like you don't need to review these. So that one starts at a higher level and then has a lot of, I would say, even has some higher end endgames that aren't like super necessary, but that's a good one. In fact, you can do it on Chessable, which I think is a better way for a lot of these endgame books because Chessable forces you to do it yourself instead of just like
A-
reading the book, right?
And also to repeat, right?
To repeat, exactly. Yeah, yeah, because that's super important to like do it with your own hand and do it multiple times correctly without messing up. Like super important to be able um, to do these.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a good one. Are you a chess.com streamer?
Oh, yes.
Okay, because I think they often give out course. You might be able to just ask them for it. They'll just give
Uh,
it to you.
yeah, okay. I will see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yeah, I saw that Endgame, but I don't think I have it. So I will ask for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Thank you.
Um, okay. You want to do one more?
Okay. Yes.
I mean, I got time, and these are super important. So I'm glad we
But
reviewed these two because they're very fundamental.
yeah. Yeah. And it's good like to fresh this because I was like having a little bit of sense, but I didn't know very well. And and it's good to learn. It's different, honestly, because when I learned, I didn't know the sixth rank uh, and also the pawn of C, D, E, F, and G. So it's good to know. I like it. Thank you.